All right. Hey, everybody. We are looking at What is Theater, Day 2. So we started with this one earlier this week, and we looked at what is theater, and we've worked through some of that. And so now we're jumping in to continue that conversation. Um, so the bell ringer today was a quote by William Shakespeare. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. The questions are Shakespeare compares life to a stage. If your life was a movie, what would it be? Would it be an action, a comedy, adventure, sci-fi, rom-com? What kind of movie would your life be? What parts do you play in life? What are the different parts that you feel like you play? And sort of what does that mean? For me, I mean, I'm a son. I'm also a husband. I'm also a father. I'm a teacher. I'm also a director. And each of those things require something different from me. How does viewing life as a stage change your view of theater? Sorry, that was my West Virginia coming out. Theater. So the question would be how is it that if life is a stage, what does that do to my view of theater? I'm getting alerts up there. Sorry. Um, so what I want you to get is that I think theater comes off as very scary for some, and like, how can I get on stage and sort of that kind of thing. Um, but it doesn't have to be because you're performing in different ways, and you'd say, well, that's just being me, like that's it. But that's what theater is. Theater is just taking you and giving an honest portrayal of whatever character, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish on stage. All right. Well, if you haven't finished it, then let's go ahead and finish the chapter reading and working on your definitions and get those turned in. I'm going to guess that you have since you've already started this lesson. Hey, let's talk about participation, okay? So participation, this is what it looks like in class, that you're following directions with effort. Following directions with effort. So if there are 3 or 4 separate questions in the bell ringer, I would say that you need to have a sentence per question. And it needs to be grammatically correct and punctuated, okay? If you're just trying to run on sentence or you're barely answering, that's below average, okay? A good answer satisfactory. Proficient would be making sure that you everything is grammatically correct. And excellent is, that I can tell that you've really put thought into it, right? Listens and reacts appropriately in exercise and scenes. So let's keep it appropriate on here. Same focused on your tasks, so getting those done in a timely manner. Supportive of your fellow classmates anytime we comment on each other's posts. And overall effort. I'm judging by the amount of time that you're putting in on Schoology and the amount of work that you're turning in on time, but you will get a participation grade weekly in this class, okay? So we need to make sure that we are participating. All right, let's talk about the blind game. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to get someone in your family to take you and bring you into a room with your eyes closed. You then have to look at the ceiling, and they're going to spin you around 3 or 4 times. And then they're going to back up, and I want that person of your family to give you direction about where to go and how to move in the space that you're in, okay, and see if you can not bump into anything and things like that, okay. So go do that now. So let's talk about the moments during the game, okay. What were the dramatic moments that happened? Think about that and write down in your interactive notebook, what are those dramatic moments that happened during the game? Would it have been the same if you were just watching a video? And why is it different? Um, and do you think you'd feel as connected to what is going on if it was just a film, if you're watching someone else do it? I think that, what I'm hoping you'll see is that experiencing something live in the flesh has an impact on us viscerally. And so we're there and we see it, and it makes it even more real, right? And I think part of that is because of the immediacy. And that's what it is with theater. Theater is immediate. It exists in one moment, in one room, and it's never going to be seen or heard in the same way with the same people ever again. And so, where a film, you can always return to it, and it's going to be The same movie, theater's not like that. You go see theater again, it's going to be different. The audience is different. The actors could be different. There could be a different feel in the room. Lines could be delivered in a different way. What other things are like that in society? Things that you have to be there to witness them. You could say political rallies. You could say church. Things that experiencing it together in a communal sense are impactful, right? Protest. So a lot of those types of things, and theater sort of encompasses all of those. It's part of the human shared experience that we have. Right now in your notebooks, I want you to write what are 3 similarities and 3 differences between theater and film. Go write that down. You can press pause if you haven't. All right, we're going to go outside and play a yes game, but you're not here, and we can't really play this game as well online. And so I may watch on your classroom, your digital classroom, and see if I have a different game or something for you to play. For you, let's call it the yes and game. So what I'll probably do is start a comment thread, and I want you guys to tell a story, and each person who's online in the class, I want you to comment yes and. So whatever the person before you said, I want you to say yes to what they said and add to the story. And so your cue is your cue is agreement, right? Yes and. And so the yes and is a jumping off point. So if I said a rabbit, walked into a farmhouse, you would say yes and that rabbit decided to play with the horses. Yes and you can build the story on yes and we use that cue to jump off, okay? Now, a cue is also something that an actor has. An actor has their cue. It's the line before they speak or the moment before whatever's supposed to happen, and they get a yes and. All right, something else I'm going to want you to do is I want you to interview, okay? Now, you can do this with someone at home, or you can do this with someone else who's online in the class. You're going to find out about a story that involved 2 people, okay? And everybody's sort of going to share their own stories. And then you're going to narrow it down and you're going to say, okay, who are the characters in the story? Who are the 2 people who are involved? How did this story start? What was the beginning, middle, and end of the story? What emotions were felt by each person? And so you're going to sort of go through that and figure it out. And then after hearing each story, you're going to choose one and you're going to use the storyboard in your notebook to come up with 4 sort of little scenes if you were acting it out. And what it would look like on stage. Let's talk about who's who in theater, okay? So in the world of theater, you have a playwright who is the author and writes the play. You have the director who is in charge of the action and sort of what it looks like. And you have the actor who's actually the performer in the play. But that's not all. We have many different people in theater. And some of those people are behind the scenes people. And so this video, you're going to start at 2:20. I'll post it in the classroom. It goes over just sort of theater hierarchy, sort of structure, so you sort of know where people land. And then in your interactive notebook, I want you to research these titles, and I want you to create a flow chart, okay, of who goes where, who's in charge of who when it comes to theater, and you're going to turn that in, okay? Last but not least, you're going to add some definitions. You use the glossary to define those terms. And then after that, you'll turn in your interactive notebook for the day. And that'll be it. Thank you very much. If you have questions, let me know. Shoot me a message on Remind. Shoot me an email. Or let me know if you want to jump on the Google Meet sometime. Thanks so much. I'll see you again soon. Bye.